First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Welcome to First at 5 from WUFT News. I'm Ashley Weinstein.
And I'm Jake Reyes. Thanks for joining us.
Up first tonight, a pilot crashed his small plane into a blueberry field in the northeast part of the county just before 8 a.m. today.
WUFT's Ophelie Jacobson went to the scene of the crash and has more on the incident.
At around 7:59 in the morning, Alachua County Sheriff's Office received a call concerning a plane crash in the county. Shortly after, sheriffs arrived to the scene right behind me. However, the pilot had allegedly already been transported to Shands. We spoke to the chief pilot of the ACSO as well as the farmer who was working in the field. Jorge Gutierrez was working on a blueberry farm this morning when he saw a small plane flying lower than usual. The motor was making a lot of noise.
We saw right away that the plane fell down a lot. We came to see what happened, and the plane was laying down, and the pilot inside was unable to leave.
That's when Gutierrez and his co-workers called the Alachua County Sheriff's Office to the scene.
An aircraft was upside down in the ditch alongside this roadway.
Chief pilot for the Sheriff's Office, Richard Bray, told me a pilot crashing his small plane in a field is rare.
It's been a while since the last one that we've had in the county, but they happen from time to time.
The identity and the condition of the pilot remain unknown at this time, although Gutierrez saw the pilot leaving the plane.
He looked good, very good.
According to Bray, there is no reason for neighbors in the area to be concerned.
The scene is secure. There's no hazards to the public here.
At around 11 o'clock in the morning, the FAA cleared the scene. Now this plane crash is under federal investigation. You can turn into WUFT.org for more details on this story. Reporting from the scene of the plane crash, I'm Ophelie Jacobson.
An update on this week's fatal motorcycle crash on Archer Road near Butler Plaza. WUFT has learned that motorcycle rider who died was a Gainesville man, 23-year-old Reggie Lovett Jr. According to the crash report, Lovett ran a red light at the intersection of Archer Road and Clark Butler Boulevard. He hit an SUV, was not wearing a helmet, and was pronounced dead at the scene. GPD is conducting a traffic homicide investigation.
2 planes carrying about 50 undocumented immigrants were sent from Florida to Martha's Vineyard. The surprise arrival yesterday forced the Massachusetts island city to mobilize emergency help. St. Andrew's Church in Edgartown is serving as an emergency shelter, providing meals, medical care, and a play area for children. Most of the people are young men and women from Venezuela. One 24-year-old said he's been traveling for 2 months and made his way through the 9 countries, including a grueling walk through Mexico to make it to Texas.
Venezuela, it's difficult to live there. That's why not just me, but thousands of Venezuelans looked for a way out of the country, in search of a future more than anything, to be honest, so that our families can eat 3 good meals a day.
Texas has been busing groups of migrants to large sanctuary cities like Washington, New York, and Chicago. It's believed the group wanted to stay in Florida, but Governor Ron DeSantis intervened to charter the flights to Martha's Vineyard. Critics call it a political stunt, but DeSantis today defended the action, saying Florida is not a sanctuary state. It's been feeling a little cooler the last couple days. Yeah. I definitely haven't had to have as much heat on me coming into the studio. It's been nice.
It hasn't been raining too much. WFT's Shawn Humphrey joins us now. Hey, Shawn, take it away.
Well, if you look at the southeast part of the county, that's the only part of it seeing any kind of showers, most of them concentrated to the southern part of north central Florida, Ocala and Marion County, seeing most of that action today. But moving forward, looking at the campus cam, it is indeed dry. Just a little bit dry. No, it's a good bit dry. The clouds are not gray and they're not dark, and we're all good here. Looking ahead into this evening, scattered storms are possible early on, but as we move further into the night, the temperature drops and the chance for rain drops too. Back to you guys.
The Gainesville music scene is coming back to life thanks to a new exhibit at a local museum. The Matheson Museum opened the Return of Forever, Gainesville's Greta Southern Music Hall exhibit on Wednesday. It commemorates the venue of the Great Southern, which had many concerts with popular artists like Jimmy Buffett and Bo Diddley in the 60s. You can visit the museum, located on University Avenue, every week, Wednesday through Saturday, from noon to 4.
You know, one of the things that I really hope that people get from this exhibit is I think a lot of people are already aware that Gainesville has a very, very rich music history, and I'm hoping that this will just deepen the understanding for people who weren't here, you know, when the Great Southern was having all of these wonderful shows.
Visiting the exhibition is free, but the museum always accepts donations. Visit our website for more information.
There was a grand opening today for an affordable housing community in Ocala. WUFT's Mariana Larsen visited the complex to show us what it looks like. She joins us now in the studio. Mariana, what did you find out?
I spoke with residents to get the details about how they're settling into their new homes. In this story, I specifically focus on one woman's experience.
Whew, nice, very nice. Want me to jump in the pool? I'm just kidding.
But what she's not kidding about is how excited she is to live in affordable housing. Oak Valley was built with seniors like Ida Gerson in mind.
When I walk in, she opened the door, right? And I've been like, oh my goodness, have I died and went to heaven? It was just so, everything is white and pretty. I love it.
Not only does she love the inside of this property,
I have my own bathroom. I don't have to share my bathroom with anybody.
she also enjoys the outside of this area.
This is my favorite spot right here.
If you're 62 and older and earn 40 to 60% of the local median income, you can live here. The rent ranges from $369 to $730.
Isn't it beautiful though? Yeah, too bad you can't jog with me because I don't have on my sneakers now, but you know, yeah, it's beautiful.
Right here where I'm standing is where the ribbon cutting ceremony took place earlier today. Residents of Oak Valley, the media, and even the mayor of Ocala met here to watch the grand opening of Oak Valley.
The best thing about it, I have a view that looks out to the trail. With all my plants, it's so beautiful.
Beautiful enough to make her want to wake up tomorrow and experience it all over again.
Right now, the wait list to live at Oak Valley is 1 year long. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Mariana. The city of Gainesville is preparing to talk about affordable housing and a few other services at an upcoming fair. And later, we'll have a deeper look at the weather.
But first, a new reveal for a long-awaited game. WUFT's Jacob Sedesse tells us about it in this week's installment of Tech Tomorrow, after the break.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back to First at 5. I'm Jacob Sedesse, and this is WUFT's Tech Tomorrow. It'd be impossible for me to begin this week without talking about the big news out of Tuesday's Nintendo Direct. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild finally has a name, Tears of the Kingdom. We still know very little about the game, but all the trailers show this game emphasizes exploration of the sky. This all comes after a series of delays for the title, which was announced all the way back in 2019 and expected to come out this year. It's been hotly anticipated ever since. The original game, released back in 2017 alongside the Nintendo Switch console, has sold over 28 million copies to date. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom will be out for Nintendo Switch May 12, 2023. Also at the Direct, a 90s classic comes back in a big way. GoldenEye 007, the James Bond shooter game for Nintendo 64, is re-releasing on both Xbox consoles and Nintendo Switch. On the Switch, it'll be available on the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack service. It will play in its original form. The Xbox version, however, is receiving a few enhancements. It will run smoother and with 4K graphics, along with a new modernized control scheme. Meanwhile, Elon Musk continues to fight tooth and nail to get out of his deal to buy Twitter. But the social media company's shareholders plan to hold him to it. Twitter shareholders voted Tuesday in favor of Musk's $44 billion takeover deal. The vote came days after Musk's third letter to Twitter seeking to terminate the deal. The case between Twitter and the world's richest person is set to go on trial October 17th. Facebook owner Meta plans to hold a conference October 11th, but we may already know what they're going to announce. A video posted to Facebook shows what the poster says is the upcoming Meta Quest Pro VR headset that they found in a hotel room. From the photos, it appears to have new controllers and a sleeker design, but beyond that, we don't know anything specific about the internals just yet. We expect to find out those details and more about Meta's plans for the metaverse at the Meta Connect conference. These kind of slip-ups aren't uncommon. The iPhone 4 was infamously found at a bar ahead of its unveiling back in 2010, and more recently the Google Pixel 7 and Pixel Watch were caught in similar situations. Yikes. Finally, we remember Queen Elizabeth II in the most Tech Tomorrow way possible, for her love of gaming. Back in 2008, UK source Sunday People reported that the Queen got hooked on the Nintendo Wii after Prince William received one for Christmas. They said she begged to join in and played bowling like a natural. Later, game company THQ sent the Queen a gold-plated Wii to promote one of its games. Unfortunately, it never found its way to the Queen and was sold by the collector who got his hands on it earlier this year. The People added that she loved gadgets. She got her first mobile phone back in 2001 and regularly updated to newer models. She even ordered an iPod and was an early adopter of email. For WUFT's Tech Tomorrow, I'm Jacob Sedesse. See you next time. Back to you, Jake.
The city of Gainesville is hosting a fair for residents to learn more about city services and local government. You'll get to learn about public city services, programs, and events directly from city staff. The services include affordable housing, utility home energy assistance, and available city jobs. Not only is the event free, but you can get a tree for free. The fair will be held on September 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Howard Bishop Middle School cafeteria.
This morning, the Biden administration announced a tentative deal to avoid a nationwide train strike, which would have hurt supply chains, inflation, and the economy. In a statement, President Biden said the deal would guarantee better pay, improved working conditions, and peace of mind around health care costs. The president also called the agreement an important win for our economy and the American people. According to an official from the Department of Labor, the deal balances the needs of workers, businesses, and our nation's economy. I was happy to see that things are feeling a little better outside.
But will Tropical Fiona be of concern to us? WUFT's Shawn Humphrey is back with a deeper look at the weather, up next.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
We'll take a look at Tropical Storm Fiona to begin the weather segment here on First at 5. Thursday morning, winds at 50 miles per hour. And moving forward, we'll take a look at the statistics. Winds up to 65 miles per hour, not quite hurricane strength. Pressure moved down from around 1,000 millibars earlier today to below that 973. And the direction changed from west at 14 miles per hour to north-northeast at 14 miles per hour. And as we keep taking a look forward, we're going to see Fiona hitting some land, some mountainous land around Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic that might affect its strength going into Sunday and early into next week. It'll hit open waters again. Wind shear might be a factor, but it'll have plenty of time to strengthen up further. And we'll take a look at this evening. Few storms here in Gainesville, Florida. And the storm tracker, the weather radar, south north central Florida is seeing most of the wetness, most of the moisture. Gainesville and Alachua County largely staying dry. And we'll take a closer look at Marion County. Ocala, storms pushing west of Ocala. A slight localized flood risk around there too, around Dunellen and everything west of 75 and down south toward the villages. We'll take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Here in Gainesville, 83 degrees, the high for the rest of the night. Going down, it gets cooler and cooler, and the chance of rain gets lower as we move forward. And we'll take a look at the lows Friday morning, down to 68 degrees in parts of the Panhandle, 70 degrees in Gainesville, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine, all good there. And we'll take a look at the 6-day forecast. Early next week, not too wet, not too hot. Looks a lot better than we've been seeing over the past few weeks. Back to the desk.
Thanks again, Shawn. Coming up in sports, we'll hear from Billy Napier on the starters who will be out against USF this Saturday.
But first, The Gainesville Hurricanes will take on the Clay Blue Devils at Citizens Field. The Hurricanes are on the hunt for their first win of the season. We'll tell you all about it after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Talia Baia. Tonight in high school football, the Gainesville Hurricanes take on the Clay Blue Devils at Citizens Field. The Hurricanes are currently 0-3, while the Blue Devils are 1-2 on the season. Last week, both teams suffered losses. Gainesville was crushed 48-3 by Trinity Catholic, while Clay lost to Orange Park 35-30. Kickoff tonight is set for 7. Moving on to Gator football, Florida suffered a 26-16 loss to Kentucky last week. Ahead of Saturday's matchup versus South Florida, the Gators are down 2 starters, right tackle Michael Tarquin and linebackers Ventrell Miller. Florida head coach Billy Napier said with Miller's absence, the biggest challenge among the linebackers is communication.
That's the big challenge for those linebackers, is to be as good of a communicator as Ventrell was, because there's a component of that position that affects that entire group, right? So I know they are working extremely hard, and, I think they're excited about the opportunity.
Kickoff in the Swamp is set for 7:30 Saturday. The game is on the SEC network. Moving to the court, number 16 Florida volleyball will be traveling to play number 4 Wisconsin Friday. The Gators are on a 4-match win streak and currently hold a 7-2 record. On Tuesday, Florida swept the Florida State Seminoles in the Sunshine Showdown. Wisconsin, the defending national champions, is on a 3-game sweep streak with their last victory against Campbell last Saturday. The match is set for Friday night at 8:30. That's it for sports. Back to Ashley and Jake.
Thanks, Talia. Finally, if you want to be the next Picasso, then look no further than Satchel's. Get this, Jake. Satchel's Pizza put out a call on Facebook for local artists to send in their pieces. They'll display the art for a month in the dining room. Artists have the option of listing them for sale. But if you're a beginner, don't worry, don't be afraid. Satchel says the art show is open to all skill levels. I kind of feel like there's another pun in there besides Picasso, something with pizza or pieces.
Look, Ashley, your Picasso pun was enough, all right?
All right. Anyways, let's take last look at the web. That's it for BBC World News, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
But remember, your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a good night.